welcome you today to this leadership meeting. And I can't be here in person today, but I did want to provide a mission moment, and so I'm going to use technology to make that happen. Because the person who you're going to hear from today was not able to be here in person today either. Every day we encounter situations where we live out our values of compassion, hospitality, reverence, interdependence, stewardship, and trust. And it's always good, I think, when we're reminded, when we encounter situations, of those very values and of the tremendous dignity and respect we can show to an individual. And so to tell a story of a patient encounter that happened just a few short days ago, I want to introduce Reverend Nuha Corey Bailey. She is a staff chaplain here at St. Mary's, working primarily in cardiac care. She works on CVICU, OHICU, she works on step down, she works on open heart recovery, and in those situations and in those areas she encounters many situations, but she's going to tell you about a story that was very moving, and the opportunity we had to not only care for an individual but to help her in this journey in where she is in her life right now. So listen to this story as told by Reverend Nuha Corey Bailey.
I was visiting a patient in CVICU, and her sister was also present. She had come to the unit after a rapid and hadn't really had the opportunity to meet her just yet, and so this was my first real encounter with the patient. I'd come to find that she had a pretty extensive history, that her cancer was essentially terminal, that she probably was not going to be seeking treatment for that cancer because she had wanted to try to live out the rest of her days as well as she could. And even in that encounter, I could tell that she was very much a caregiver, and I learned that she had been an LPN for home health back in her home in Memphis, because she was, when I was struggling to find some words to say at times when you encounter a patient who's terminal, she had told me it's okay. There's nothing that you can say. But she did have one request. She had asked if she would be able to go to the chapel to kneel at the foot of the cross so that she could pray and give praise to Jesus. So I had learned that she was a Christian and her faith was very, very much important to her, and said that we would absolutely work on that. After I had left the visit, after our prayer, I had come and spoken with Terry, the charge nurse of the day, and asked Terry if we could make this happen for the patient. And she said, absolutely, absolutely. We have new monitors where you're able to be remote, that we would be able to track her wherever she was, that we could absolutely make this happen. Upon hearing that and upon sharing the patient's story and their needs, one of the male nurses, Corbin, had said, I want to help with this, let me help with this, as well as the patient's nurse, Gage, said, we're on board. We're definitely on board to make this happen. And so after maneuvering, after ensuring the safety of the patient and ensuring the environment would be safe for the patient to go, we got one of our fancy wheelchairs, and the nursing staff helped her up into the chair. I walked with the sister closely behind to the chapel of the Risen Christ on the second floor where the ICUs are. And there I had placed the kneeler in front of the altar, it was already there, but I placed a cross there so that she could see it and have it there. And I had said some words of scripture that were reminiscent of the visit that I had had with the patient. And so after that, the patient then had her own little time of worship and celebration with herself in the chapel. And so we were able to make that happen for her.
What does this whole situation mean to you as a chaplain and as a employee here at St. Mary's?
Well, I remember after doing this, I had told Terry, the charge nurse, there are some things that we can do, that we can deliver upon, especially when tending to the spiritual needs of a patient. Sometimes it can be a little discouraging when the requests are big or something. And at some point, this request could have been big and undoable and unable to make happen. But the fact that she had requested and articulated that spiritual need, and the fact that we were so able and ready to do that for the patient, for their spiritual needs, in the midst of this journey that she's going through, was just wonderful. And it gave me that energy and excitement to know that, not every patient is going to have that and able to articulate that certain need, but when they do, we're able to deliver. So that was what was really, really exciting for me.
When it comes to our values, the Christ values, what ones did you see exemplified in this whole situation?
Goodness, well, compassion and knowing that this was something that the patient had wanted, and even in the midst of her struggle, to be able to make that happen. Hospitality with Corbin just jumping right up and saying, I'm here to help. And essentially all the clinical staff being able to accommodate this need for this patient. Reverence, obviously, in allowing her to have this time of worship. The interdependents working together as a team, making this happen for that patient, and trusting that the patient was going to be okay, because we were able to deliver that.